Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday edition of Trail Talk. I am Miss Mary, and I'm actually joined here in our education classroom today by Miss Julie McKinney and our Executive Director, Scott Metelko. Julie is one of our board members and had a big hand in our recent festivities, if you would, our Western Spirit celebration. So we're going to do our Western Spirit celebration roundup, if you will. We're going to have a little talk about all the fun things that we did, some of the things we were able to accomplish, and things that maybe you guys can help us with here in the next couple of days in the near future. So I think I'm going to turn it over now to Scott, and he's going to kind of lead us through our kind of roundup here. He can go ahead and kick us off anyway.
Well, this is the first year that we're doing, or that we did Western Spirit again. It had been dormant for a couple of years, and we really wanted to bring it back. And we had it last Saturday, and it was a really fun event. We all had a blast doing it. And we had, what I told some folks is, you know, there's probably nothing there that you'll like unless you like cowboys or food or country music, you know. So there was just longhorn cattle, right? There was just a lot to do. So all the stock dogs, yeah. So what I thought we would do is just kind of go through kind of some of the things that we had during the event, and we'll just talk about them. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's do that. So we started with our opening ceremony. Oh, I can't see, there's the thing is on there. Hold on one second. And we had,
The thing is on
so, of course, our master of ceremonies, who was going to be here with us this afternoon,
there.
who decided not to come in at the last minute, all had.
She had a deadline.
She did, well, she had a deadline, but she did a great job all day Saturday, kind of keeping things moving and making sure that everybody was there at the right time, doing what they need to do. So we really appreciate her doing that. And then we had Missy Fry, who is with the Cowboy Opry Band.
She comes to see us a lot.
Yeah. So she sang some patriotic songs for us to kind of get us started. And then we had Pastor David, who was also one of the Chuck Wagon folks. He got us going with a little benediction. So that was our opening ceremony, and we were off and running. So other things that we had, which of course, as Julie says,
My favorite things in the whole world are the Longhorns.
They were so cool.
Yeah,
Super, super longhorn cows.
yeah. That's Mike Smith's herd, and if you don't remember, back, it was 2013 was our last event, yeah, for the Western Spirit celebration. We used to have the cattle go down from Bray, Oklahoma, all the way down to the Heritage Center. So, and these are the leftovers. These are the ones that have been with them since then. So they're awful meat.
they are there. That is a pretty herd that he had out there.
And they were so well behaved. They just stayed right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He brought a bunch of cowboys with him. There wasn't a pen or anything. They were just kind of out there in the middle of the big lawn. Grazing, and every once in a while, getting after each other a little bit, but it was neat to have them out there and not have to have them penned up.
To the most time, Longhorns are fairly gentle cattle.
Yeah,
They are. You can't pet them because they don't realize these long things hanging off their heads, and they might, try to swish a fly away, and you might be in the way. So the Cowboys kind of kept everybody away, but maybe 10 feet at the most.
yeah,
So it was
folks are walking right up, getting their picture taken. And it was
pretty cool.
I was actually a little nervous there at the beginning of the day, but they were very well behaved.
And the Cowboys were cute too, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there they are.
Oh, there's more pictures of them. I believe there's one more. So
Yeah, you can see those longhorn cattle and the cowboys there, and that's just how they were. I mean, they were just out roaming around, and the chuck wagons were there behind them, and it was just like a scene from a movie almost. I mean, it was right there, and you could see the longhorns from the street. So that brought in a lot of people and interest into the event itself, because it's not every day you drive by and see a herd of longhorns out here. So, I mean, it was very interesting.
Well, yeah, and it was almost like it was two events. Like you had the Western cowboys, the longhorns, the chuck wagons, all kind of on one part of the property. And then on the other part of the property, we had all the entertainment.
That's true. That sounds good.
Yeah, and I jumped on, you were gonna say something, you were looking,
Yeah, I was going to say, that cowboy in the back there, behind, that's Mike Smith. He's
the
one of our
polka
board
dotted-
members. Yeah,
yeah, right there.
That's his herd.
that's his.
So thank you, Mike, again.
Yeah. Okay, and so the next thing that happened, we had, oh, by the way, Dee Dodson, who works here at the Heritage Center, she took all these photographs here. She did a great job taking pictures all day during the event. So we really appreciate her doing that.
That's a neat picture. I would try to take some pictures of those dogs. There's no way I could have gotten something like that. She's very talented.
Yeah, yes, she is. So, and that was fun having, he had 3 or 4 different dogs
Mhm.
that he was working with, and they were all, they were all pretty similar in their abilities and what they could do, but it was just amazing to watch them
The
work.
intensity of those dogs,
Well, yeah,
listening to his commands,
Mhm.
and then looking at the cows was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
They are in action.
Yeah, and that was,
Yeah,
it was
you
Roy
look at-
Cox who brought the dogs and the calves that he worked. And that's him right over here. He did it was so much fun. There was a lot of people out there watching him.
Can you notice the dog nipping at the heels?
Yeah.
He has it right
He
there.
knows how to do it. Yeah, it was pretty amazing, pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you would think, when we first talked to him, he said, well, he's gonna do about an hour demonstration. And I thought, how are you gonna make this interesting? I mean, how many times are you gonna run around the cattle? But it wasn't like that at all. There was so much detail that he gave us as far as how he trains the dogs, what the commands are, what the difference between the commands are. There's some very subtle things.
Away, and to me, I think it's the 2 ones. Away is going one way around the pen, and to me, it's going away around the other way
Yeah.
around. And he told us the commands, and then we would watch the dog, and then he would say, does the dog obey the commands? And everybody, yes.
Yeah, those dogs didn't make any mistakes.
No, they didn't. It was
And
amazing.
I imagine they rarely, if ever, do.
How old were the dogs? Did he ever say?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering how much training
it took, yeah.
it takes.
Well, I mean, just watching them work, that work is pretty hard. I mean, that's hard work on their bodies. So I don't imagine they're very old. I don't know how long they can actually work like that, but especially the one that was this one up here, Border Collie.
Yeah.
He had, he was actually sitting on top of his crate. And so Roy had him jump up there and jump down and then go around his crate and back up there and
It was
down
hot,
in the
too.
crate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was warm that day.
So, yeah, that was fun. Stock dogs. Interesting.
Oh, well, looky there.
Oh,
It's me.
anyone you know?
That's me right here, in case you can't tell. So, yeah, Miss Edie and I, we sat at our education children's booth area, kind of a conglomeratory area that we had there. So usually every event that we have, we try to have something for the kids. And it's always free. There's always some kind of art involved. At our Western Spirit celebration this last Saturday, we actually had conchos with pre-cut pieces of leather. And so the kids had options that they could make themselves a bracelet, they could make themselves a bolo tie, they could make, a little thing to hang off their backpack, however they wanted to do that. And it was fairly simple, they just threaded the pieces of leather through the concho. And then we cut the strips, however, whatever, depending on what they wanted. And then we had a nice little photo booth opportunity where they were a wanted, they were a
Wanted
fugitive.
poster,
Because
yes.
every parent dreams of one day seeing their child in a wanted poster, so
But we
this-
also gave them badges.
Yes, but they were also, like, that's usually that's how we drew them in, was we made them a sheriff, we gave them a sheriff badge. So they have the sheriff badge and then, then they take the wanted picture sign. So they're living both sides of the law there. And then we also had some games. So we had a horseshoe, your typical horseshoe game. Of course, the stand of the horseshoe was like a cow. So it had the spotted cow, theme going on. But then another fun thing that's a lot of the kids really enjoyed was a snake toss. So a lot of them were asking if it was real snakes, and Miss Edie and I had to assure the children and the parents alike that we in no way would be here if it was a real snake. So they were just some like weighted, I don't know, kind of beanie type snakes, and the kids would toss those into cowboy boots. And so they had a lot of fun doing that too. And then for the participation, each kid got to pick a grab bag. And so each grab bag had just a lot of different things in there, like little bouncy balls. There was little packages of candy. There was little artificial or temporary tattoos, stickers, all kinds of fun things for them to take home. So the kids really thought that was pretty cool, because you never know, you want to pick the best bag, because they were brown paper sacks stapled shut. So you just never knew what you're going to get. But we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to offer those kind of activities for kids at these events. That all comes out of our education department, which is funded largely by grants, gifts, and donations. And this Western Spirit celebration also coincided with the first days of our big fundraiser for our education department that we do every year, which is Texoma
It
Gives.
was our kickoff. That's right.
And so if you don't know about our education programs, they do a lot of work here. We have in a typical year about 11,000 kids come through and enjoy the program in one way or another. There's all kinds of special programs. You've got cowpokes and brush strokes.
For our 2 to 4 year olds.
We've got the writing in response to art.
The creative writing, yeah.
Creative writing, yeah. And there's what else? What am I missing? I know there's a lot more.
I mean, we do the virtual field trips now with COVID that came up. We now have the capability of doing the virtual Zoom type field trips. So those that can't come in, or the schools that can't actually leave their school for field trips, we're still able to educate them with our different sessions that we have, which we do have 4 different sessions through the year. We do an Abernathy session, and that kicks off our school year and runs till about October. And then we do our Christmas on the Trail, and then we do our land run. We do a Oklahoma History Heroes, and I'm missing one right now, and I can't think of what the other one is. But we do have 4 different sessions that we do through the year. And like Scott said, we see typically in a normal fashion school year, around 11,000 students is how many we have come through. We've had as few as 15 come through on a field trip, and then we've had as many as almost 300 come in one day. So we can see any kind of size, group, age. We just love to teach around here, and the kids, I mean, it's some of the stuff, they get to do an art project. Some of these schools, a lot of the art has been cut from the funding from their schools. So they get to do an art project, which a lot of the kids they just find wonderful, and every session has a different art project. And there's always a history lesson involved in that as well. And we do teach the Oklahoma standards. And we're also a Great Expectation accredited school. So we are, as far as I know, the only non-traditional school that is a GE certified school. What that means is we're not your typical school. We're not like an elementary school. We're not a teaching school, if you will, but we are an accredited GE school because we do follow those GE guidelines. And so we have been accredited. I think this is our 15th year, I think now.
Ooh, could be 5.
Yeah. So all of our teachers, including myself, we are GE certified. So.
And the programs are offered free to Title I schools.
Yep.
And
Because of grants and.
right. And so if you would like to help out with that, it's really simple. You can just go to texomagives.com and you look for the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, and you can donate as much or as little as you would like there. So we appreciate all the help we can get with that. But this that, we bring that up now because we use the Western Spirit Celebration as a way to kick off that fundraising drive that we're going to do. So if you're a fan of Trail Talk, you're probably going to hear more about it the next
You'll
week.
probably get
because
tired of hearing.
the
it.
actual giving day is 1 week from today.
That's right.
And so we'll have, and I noticed we have a school
Yeah, we
visiting us
do.
on the same day.
I
And
believe Empire's coming in.
and I know we've got a lot of short programs that we're going to do throughout the day to just remind people that we're raising
We're
money
here
on
and
that day. So
that's right. And even if you come now, you can start donating. You can, up your, you can round up. So if you come in and buy something in the gift shop for 50 cents, you can round up for $1 and give an extra 50 cents towards our Texoma Gives.
And there's a raffle, but the
Yeah.
Crutchers
Big-
Western
big
Wear
raffle.
has donated a boot, and it's a boot of your choice.
Pair of boots.
A pair, it's right, a pair of boots. Right, you're right. Right now, it's just a boot.
We'll get you one, but you have to buy the other.
No, it's,
No, it's not.
It is
it's a
fair.
raffle for both of the boots. And you get to choose the style and the size and all of that.
It's
So
any boot in there that
Mhm.
Precious has, so.
I think
Any pair.
any smooth cowhide boot.
Smith got one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
That's
okay,
a lot.
so back to Western
I
Spirit.
know.
What else?
I went off
happened?
on my tangent. You told me to go and I went.
You did- you did
I
good.
went. I went with it. Yes, so back to Western Spirit. What did we go next?
Well, it's one.
Wallace Moore.
Wallace Moore. Yes.
So Wallace Moore is a gentleman out of, he's out of Lawton. And he's got a bunch of different historical characters and periods and stories that he tells. And so he was out here for most of the day. He would get up on the stage and do a presentation, tell stories about, in this case, we had him come in and tell stories about the Buffalo Soldiers. And so it was really fascinating. And he was a lot of fun.
It's a wealth of information.
Yeah, he knows a whole bunch of history.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And
There
then
was never a time when there wasn't people at his table.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he sat out there and at his table, he's
Oh,
sold books and talked to people almost all day long. So it was great to have him out there. And by the way, his books are available in our gift shop. And if you round those up, you'll help us out with Texoma
Texoma
Gifts.
Gifts.
That's right. See, Texoma Gives.
We also had the Chickasaw Dancers.
Chickasaw dancers, they were, those were, it's just interesting to watch the way that they dance. There's some pictures of them.
And the women, they have these
Yeah.
jangles on their feet. They're made from, what are they made
I
from?
don't
They were
know.
trying to
Tin
explain.
cans
Kind
filled
of-
with
what it looked
river
like.
rocks.
River
and-
rocks, yeah.
Yeah, so they're wearing
Heavy.
like lots of weight.
But every time they walk, they just change. It was cool. It was cool.
It's always fun. Native American dancers are always fun because they're so high energy.
Yes.
And it's loud and there's lots of colors and it was fun to watch them.
And the men, when they were singing, oh my gosh, they had beautiful
Yeah.
voices.
Mhm.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So that was loads of fun. And then we also had the
They were so
silhouette
cute.
squares.
They were so cute in their little square dance outfits.
Hey, I used to square
Hey,
dance.
I'm not making fun of them. I really like it. I really like it. I like the little skirts and
It
it's
was
cute.
fun. They demonstrated a whole lot of different styles of square dancing and
See,
but they're the silhouette because they're from Lawton and Fort Sill, so that's their name, the Silhouette
Oh, I
Squares.
didn't know that.
And yeah, and they came out and they spent a long time
they were here
just
quite a while.
demonstrating and hats off to them for doing that. in
And they
the
did some
heat.
line dancing too. They didn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
do the square dancing. They did some line dancing.
Yeah,
It's amazing, the caller and his music, and then he'll give a command, and they just know how to do it. It just flows and flows. It was,
yeah,
I've enjoyed the whole day.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah, but we all did. And the Silhouette, they're always square dance groups are always in need of new and younger people to come in and be part of them. So if you just come up to the Heritage Center, we've got little information cards about them, or you can give us a call and we'll let you know how to get a hold of them. So,
And then one of the main events, the Chuck Wagon Cook-Off. And there was a lot to do with that. And Miss Julie here, she, hats off to her because you kind of just took that under your wing and you ran with it and you did a great job.
I love chuck wagon. We have a wagon of our own.
You did a trail talk on your chuck
Yeah,
wagon.
chuck wagon cooking, yeah. But we had 4 chuck wagons there and they had, the cook-off was not just for the food, but it was for the authenticity of the chuck wagon and the campsite. So all of these chuck wagons were authentic chuck wagons. They had all the
Costumes.
They had costumes, but it's amazing the amount of material and stuff that has to be on the chuck wagon to make it work. You gotta remember, they're going out on the trail with those cattle, feeding the cowboys
For months.
for months. Yeah, so they have to haul all their food.
Strategic placement of their
Yes,
items.
yes, and all their campfire grilling stuff that they needed to do. And just imagine, you don't have a store around the corner.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
You forget something.
yeah.
You can't just run
So-
down.
What they cooked for us was beans, because why? Beans are easy to carry. They're fairly small for the amount of food that you get, and they don't spoil. Then we also do biscuits, because flour is
Same
same
reason.
thing, yeah, all the stuff. And then cobbler.
Yeah,
And-
because who doesn't like coffee?
Who doesn't like, we got peach cobbler. And I didn't know at the time when I was cooking off our chuck wagon that the canned peaches and the canned beans and all this other stuff, I didn't realize that they actually had canned food back in the day. And, like a can of peaches were called airtights. It's a can, that's what they used to call them, because they're
Airtight,
airtight and they don't
Right.
spoil, right?
Yeah.
So we had canned peach cobbler. Oh my gosh, they did a good job.
Yeah.
It was pretty darn tasty.
And
So,
so
yeah.
we judged them for each individual food, and then there was also a grand champion,
Yes,
and also the camp.
yes, and for the camp. So Steve Tebow and I judged the camp, and Jeannie Bowden and Marcus McIntyre and Brenda Gandy from the OSU Extension judged the food. And it was
Yes, and
interesting.
thank you
because-
all for doing that.
yes.
That was,
It's interesting. Everybody got a plaque because all the judging was so tight between everybody. It was, it was just a couple of points or a half point between some of the things. So it was kind of fortunate. It was pretty amazing.
So
Yeah.
nobody walked away empty-handed.
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
yeah.
So yeah, it was, you should, that's amazing.
So do you think this is something we're gonna do again?
Do you think? Yes.
Yeah, we're already thinking about and talking about our next chuck
Yeah,
wagon.
and get more
competition.
chuck wagons too.
And a lot of them, they set up the night before, Chris.
Yes, they had to.
So there was tents set up and I mean, it was like a full-on,
Yeah,
Yeah, well, they were in cooking at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
So they had to have everything ready to go in order to be able to cook
by 11.
beans to
by 11.
turn in their food by 11 o'clock. Yeah.
And then they served everybody at 12, from 12 to 2.
Oh, they served folks for a long time. They're-
Till they were out.
Yeah, until they ran out of food, and they had food for most of the day.
Yeah, but
So,
they did run out too.
yeah.
There's one of the chuck wagons had homemade canned applesauce,
oh, the apple butter.
apple butter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, did you try it?
I did,
Oh,
yeah.
they're good cooks.
At first I thought it was barbecue sauce and I was like, why is that in with a biscuit? And then we realized it was apple butter. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Okay, so that was the chuck wagon cook-off. What else did we have?
Well, we
Oh.
had Gary Pratt here in concert
Right.
Oh, yeah.
and he was amazing. He actually closed out our celebration there under the portico. And so he sang, and not that this is a bad thing, but he had some acoustical issues and he just kept on.
Equipment issues.
I mean, he just said, he just forego or, just said, forget the equipment. And he just sat down and sang with his guitar.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
I mean, it
So
was
he
just
had, he
great.
had a whole PA system and microphones, and his guitar was plugged in, and when that went haywire, he just hopped down off the stage, pulled a chair with him
Mhm.
into, so he could get close to everybody that was listening and just sat down and
Never
played
missed a
music
beat.
there.
You
So,
never missed a beat.
yeah,
And he sang songs that made you keep on singing the rest of the day.
yeah.
Stuck in your head there.
Stuck in your head.
But for a good reason, not for a bad reason, because he had a wonderful voice. He really did. And just to be able to play acoustically like that and just continue like nothing had happened.
And just a lot of different songs. He never played the same song twice.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
And did you talk to him about his day job?
He has a day job?
His day job, yeah. He's the ranch manager for the Chickasaw Nation.
I
So he
didn't know that.
manages 3 different ranches for them, 3 or
And-
4.
And
He's
yes,
going to be in a movie. He's in
Oh,
a
right.
movie. He auditioned, I guess, what they say, a couple years ago. And he is in the new movie with DiCaprio and.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, yes. He's the judge.
something
No,
like
he's
that.
he bank teller. or
Bank
something?
teller, he's the
Yeah.
bank teller, yes. And I guess they said he pretty much ad-libbed his, like, he just had a couple of lines, I think is what they said, but he ended up recording with them, I think, or on set with them for about 11 hours total. So that's just,
We should have gotten an autograph.
I know, we talked about it.
We did talk
We did talk
about
about it. But yeah,
Anyway, so that was our Western Spirit Celebration, and it took an awful lot of people to make this happen. Mike Smith, who did a great job in bringing the Longhorns out, and that's not a small thing. I mean, think about it. He had to load those up at his ranch and haul them all the way out here, then sit on a horse in the sun.
And bring his
Circling them.
horses too.
Oh, and the horses,
Yeah.
right, and a couple of his ranch hands.
Mhm.
And Katie Jo Gordon was one of the
Oh,
ranch
that's
hands that
right,
was
yeah.
Mhm.
watching out
Yeah.
for the Longhorns. But
She's cute.
yeah, we really appreciate Mike and all that he did to help us make this work. Of course, Julie, it wouldn't have happened without her. She really took the reins on this one and kind of drove us over the finish line with the help of
Lots
Lois
of
Dawn.
volunteers, yeah.
And yeah, Arvest Bank, we want to thank them for sponsoring us. Crutcher's Western Wear, they're always great supporters of everything that we do out here. And they donated the pair of boots that we're raffling,
there you go.
that you can still come out and buy raffle tickets for. That drawing is next Wednesday or
Thursday.
Thursday, next Thursday.
Today.
So yeah, plenty of time to get your chances in there.
Oh, and the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Boy Scouts, they were
yes.
great. too.
Yes, they were.
The
Great
Boy
group.
Scouts, the board, it's okay. It does that every once in a while. So the board of directors here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, they did a lot to support us through this whole thing. And a lot of them were volunteers throughout the day. The Chickasaw Nation for sending us the dancers. That was really generous of them. Of course, our volunteers, the Boy Scouts, and Missy Fry.
Yes.
And I, not least is the staff here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center.
They were amazing.
They go
They
above
stood
and
up.
beyond for these kind of events because it's a long day and it starts long before anybody gets there and.
Well, it started the day before. If we
Right.
think about it.
Or if not
Right.
weeks
Or
before,
weeks before,
yeah.
right.
depending on which part you were handling.
Well, I mean, just making those little grab bags for the
Mhm.
kids. I mean, that all started weeks before and purchasing all the food for the chuck wagons and making sure that that's here. And so,
And
it's
the
really-
chuck wagons, the cooks and the fire tenders, and then they usually had 2 other people around with them too. So they worked hard in the heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a whole, I mean, it was a family affair
It was a family
for
affair.
most of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a lot of work for them to feed that many people.
Yep.
It was fun though.
I
I had fun
I think we need to do it again. What do you think?
next weekend.
Next weekend.
No.
Well, we're not gonna say when, but it might just be an annual thing.
Yeah.
We'll do an annual.
We'll do.
But I think we do have several different things coming up, like Scott said earlier. I know next week is our big Texoma Gives drive. So you guys will probably be tired of hearing about it from us, but you
Don't
know
get
what?
tired of hearing about it.
No, but don't, because this is really our one day of the year that we can just get out there and we just kind of campaign and ask for your guys' donation. And that just really helps.
And every
Every
bit
day.
helps.
That's right. Every single penny helps. So it's kind of like that, the Jerry Lewis telethon is kind of how I feel
Yeah.
like it goes, but you know, it's,
Well, we did a telethon.
yeah, we did
year.
last year. It was
That was
kind
the
of cool.
first year we did that.
Mhm. It was fun. So,
But the way that Texoma Gives works is folks will donate money to us, but then the Texoma Gives organization also has foundations that are part of it, and they'll add money on top of that. And there's a lot of incentive things.
there's
So
prize money.
yeah,
there's
so if you
different
get
competition.
the most number of donors between this time and this time, or the most amount of money between this time and this hour. One of the ones that we got last year is called the Far and Away. So it was the most donors from outside of the Texoma area. And yeah, we had people from London and New York and Florida and Idaho and I mean, all over the country.
You gotta do that again.
We go for all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then remember, it's all for the history of the Chisholm Trail and the kids,
Mhm.
Mhm.
so that they know that history and can.
That's right. That's why those Title I schools can come in for free and we can still, you know, they are able to do everything that all the other schools can.
And we don't necessarily have to go through online. They can send money here. right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, good point, Tina. Tina, who's behind the camera, you can't see her. But, she makes the point that you don't have to go online and do it that way. You can come in and do it here, or you can even just call us and we can take care of that. on
You don't
the
have to
phone.
wait until Thursday. We'll take it
No.
for you, hold it, and we'll apply it on
One of
Thursday.
those categories that I was talking about is the most early donations
Early
before the
bird.
actually day of giving, which is next Thursday,
That's right.
Wait for today.
a week from today.
Mhm.
So, well, I think that's, you were going to say, you were going to tell them about upcoming events.
Oh, yeah, well, we have our Raining in the Arts, it's next month,
Mhm. That is
Sep-
November
November
6th.
6th, that's right,
Yeah.
and that'll be our second annual. We had one of those last year, so look for more information on that. Next Wednesday, let's see, we are going to, what is our Wednesday trail talk? We will be here again next Wednesday at 3 o'clock for our normal trail talk. And then again on Thursday, it'll
Next-
be our
It's the
Texoma Gives.
commemorative Air Force.
That's right. Paul Halapity will be here with us. So you guys be sure and tune in next Wednesday here at 3 o'clock. We'll be here for our trail talk. And then again on the 9th, which will be our Texoma Gives Day. So is there anything? That's right, a week from today. Julie likes that, week from today. You come in with that all the time. So, there you
We
go.
may actually see Julie a week from today.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But if something tells me we might be able to convince her to come back. So,
A week from today. There you
okay,
go.
so you
All right.
want to lead us
Yeah.
out here?
I think that's it. So you guys that are here with us and Julie and Scott, you guys probably know what to do as well. So whenever we're ready to sign off here from Trail Talk, we say happy trails. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy trails!